In Season 1 of GX, Syrus spent most of his time trying to get away from the Academy. Get his ass, Jaden.
Telling you my sin. Yeah, never say die. Gotta go.
Hello everybody, and welcome to more of the deck profiles for the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Dynasty series, subscriber Dynasty series. I like to add that just to be fun. Guys, this is Syrus's deck. That's right, Syrus is up next on our list, and his deck is full of extremely old school Roids as well as some other monsters and spells that he used during the series. So, Syrus's deck, you're gonna find a lot of crap. No joke, crap. You got Psych Roid, you got UFO Roid, you got Thunder Nyan Nyan, that's one of his non-crap cards, that he showed off in the freaking Waifu Exchange episode. I'm not even joking, there was literally an episode where everybody showed their waifu card, and that was one of them. He's got the Steam Roid, he's got the Drill Roid, he's got the Rocket Warrior. This was a gift from me because he couldn't make one of his fusion monsters without a warrior type monster. I gave him Rocket Warrior as a gift because that's 20% balancing. He's got the Jet Roid, he's got the Pat Roid, and he's got the Gyroid. On top of that, he runs a Polymerization and Power Bond. Yes, he has a Power Bond that his brother gave to him. He's got the Shield Crush, Defusion, Limiter Removal, MSTs, good old-fashioned weapon change, a Magic Cylinder. He's got Microwave, Supercharge, so Wonder Garage, and Call of the Haunted. A lot of these cards are gifts from me, but most of the monsters are actually just cards that he has or has shown off in the show. So this is Syrus's deck. Boss monster wise, the strongest card you're probably ever going to see him summon is the Steam Gyroid. Sometimes he might summon UFO Roid Fighter, but it's pretty rare. Overall, his rarest cards are definitely the Limiter Removal with the Power Bond. That's the best cards he has in his deck. But let's go ahead and get into Syrus's stats. Syrus's stats for this series, looking at his deck, he actually has some 1900 beaters, even if they can't stay on the field. He has some 1800 beaters that go up to 23, which is really good, and some of his other monsters are just kind of averaged out. So for this kind of a deck, I actually am able to give Syrus a 5-bar stat. Now, I know that might sound a little low, given that Steamroid could have up to 2300 attack, but at the same time, it can have as low as 1300, so you just think of it as an 18 beater. There's no reason to think of it as having the 2300, because it's high potential and its low potential average out to 1800 anyway. So yeah, overall, I would give Syrus an above average attack stat. It's actually pretty good. His boss monster being the Steam Gyroid is not very good, 2200, and UFO Roid Fighter has a attack stat of 2700, and that's actually pretty decent, but 2200 is not very good. But Power Bond doubles that, Limiter Removal doubles that, so it's actually completely fine. Syrus's attack stat is above the average, nothing wrong with that. Now we can get into Syrus's defense stat, where looking at his monsters, Steamroid does have 1800 defense and it stays at 1800, so that's pretty solid. Drillroid is at 1600 defense, and that's pretty solid as well. Jetroid is at 1800, and that's really solid. And Gyroid has the effect where it can't be destroyed by battle once. It must be destroyed destroyed twice, or attacked twice to be destroyed. So this monster actually increases his defense stat as well. And overall, I gotta say, Syrus's defense stat with all these averaged out 1800s, that's probably a solid 5-bar. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give him 5 bars. He gets a 5-bar in defense stat. That is pretty freaking nice. I got nothing bad to say about Syrus in that sense. But now we need to move on to Syrus's speed stat. And his speed stat is where I gotta get a little judgmental, because overall, he actually has some speed-based cards like UFO Roid, which is a special summoning card. When this card gets destroyed by battle, you can special summon one Roid with 1500 or less attack. And that is really good. That's most of these Roids anyway. So that is really good. You could search it to get out Gyroid if you want to fuse with Steamroid, so that's kind of nice. But it's a 6-star monster! Who thought that was a good idea? Why did they make UFO Roid a 6-star monster? They could have made it a 4-star monster and it still would have been not busted. It would have just been really nice to have. So I'm really sad that they made this a 6-star monster for like no reason. It's pretty freaking sad to see that. But he does have some other search potential cards like the Supercharge, which is a gift from me. He probably isn't supposed to have this card this early in the show, but he really didn't have that many cards in Season 1, so I was like, I'll give him a gift. Here comes the Supercharge, which, when your opponent declares an attack while you only control a Machine-type Roid monster, you get to draw 2 cards. It's freaking awesome. When you control Machine-type Roid monsters, you get to do this. And honestly, the only thing that isn't Roid and a Machine is Rocket Warrior and Thunder Nyan Nyan, so that's pretty much going to happen pretty often. Plus, Wonder Garage, if this card gets popped, you can pop it yourself with MST, but if this card gets popped, face down, you get to special summon 1 Roid monster, level 4, from your hand, which is not very good, but it's still speed potential. Call the Haunted is speed potential, so that's pretty good. But it's the replacement for Monster Reborn since he actually used it, so kind of just goes into average. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give his speed stat, I'm going to be, you know what, because UFO Roid is level 6, I'm going to be a little harsh, and I'm going to give him a speed stat of 3 bars. 3 bars compared to everybody else makes a lot of sense. UFO Roid, I would give you more potential. I would give him a little bit more if you were level 4. In fact, I'd give him a lot more if you were level 4. But you are level 6, and you are disrespectful for being such a high level. So, thanks to UFO Roid, I'm going to drop Syrus's speed stat to a sad 3 bars. But it's okay because we're going to move on to the skill stat. And the skill stat is the other win condition cards, including Burn, including Piercing, including Stall, including all that fun stuff. And the only thing I can see here when it comes to Stall would be Gyroid, and he has 3, so that's some Stall potential. No Piercing. Even Drillroid doesn't pierce. It's a good card. Don't get me wrong. Drillroid is a solid card. But it doesn't affect any of the stats other than defense stat. This helped him with his defense stat. That's about it. So, and his attack stat didn't drop too hard because of it. So that's why he has good attack stat. So looking at this, Syrus is not very skilled. Yes, he has Gyroid for Stall, and since he does her run 3, I'm going to be generous and give him a 2 bar in skill stat. And honestly, that's more than he deserves. So, overall, skill-wise, Syrus Truesdale's skill stat, not very good. He's got above average attack and defense. But when it comes to speed and skill, this boy is not very good. I'm sorry. If anything, he burns himself with Power Bond, so he's anti-skill. Oh, that's really depressing to say out loud. But let's go ahead and move into the break stat. That's right, Syrus Truesdale's break stat. This is where things get interesting because as you can see, Syrus doesn't run any tribute monsters except for UFO Roid. This is a brick. UFO Roid, despite the fact that it helped his speed stat, it is also a brick stat. Brick cards include Power Bond if you don't have the right material, Polymerization if you don't have the right material, Diffusion if there's no fusion monsters, which is pretty often, Weapon Change, which, you could pay 700 life points and target 1 warrior monster machine you control, switch to current attack and defense until, that's actually not it's not exactly it's not bad. It's fine. It's not a brick card. Micro Ray, target 1 face up defense monster, it becomes 0. That's not a quick trap, so yeah, I'd have to say that's kind of a brick. Wonder Garage is pretty much a brick. I'm gonna have to give his brick stat a solid 6 bar. He's not very bricky in my opinion. I would say he rarely breaks. He can break. It's possible for him to brick. It's just not very often that he will. Honestly, when we tested Syrus's deck, he actually did win some duels through beating. And after a couple duels, we did get the fusion summon Steam Gyroid, and that kind of just won us the duel. So overall, I would say Syrus's stats are not the worst. It's just, he's not very skillful. He's not very fast. He does need some time to get out what he can do, but that's what Gyroid's for. So, you know what? Potential-wise for him winning the entire tournament, thanks to Drillroid and Steamroid giving him some tactics, I would actually say 2 stars. I still can't do it. I was gonna give him a 2.5 and say, you know what, he has a chance of winning, but I'm gonna say 2 stars. It would take some incredible hands for him to win the entire tournament. I honestly think he can win duels. In fact, I know he can win duels because I've won some practice duels with this deck. Overall, though, winning the tournament when you're running triple Psychroid, triple Patroid, triple even Jetroid, even though the trap cards from the hand, like using Magic Cylinder and stuff, is pretty funny, Overall, I would, and Supercharge from the hand is pretty funny. I would say overall, Syrus is not going to win any tournaments. I think he can win duels, just not the tournaments. So solid 2 stars. That's not even a big insult for someone like this with this kind of a deck. I would say it's more than he deserves, honestly. So guys, that's going to be it for the Syrus deck profile. If you would like to try out Syrus's deck, please copy and paste this deck into your own. I tried to hover every single card so that you could just type in what they are if you don't know them off the top of your head. Overall, though, this deck is pretty ass. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably the best deck I've shown out of the deck profiles so far, and it's still considered ass in my opinion compared to some of these other duelists. So that's gonna be it. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.